For this topic, we are discussing something of such high importance that we will need to stop several times for you to do your own thinking and consideration. The topic is what makes a healthy relationship. In this video, we'll focus on dating relationships, but it's also okay to think of healthy friendships and healthy relationships in a family as well. So first, let's pretend you were to sit down with someone else, like you were in an interview, and the interviewer wanted your advice, your thoughts on a topic. What would you say if the interviewer asked you, "What is a healthy relationship? Describe it to me," as if they were doing a segment on your work or your life? Answer this question with 10 examples or a paragraph of your response. Get out your notebook or journal, answer the question, and press pause here while you write. Okay, you've answered the question. Now I want you to answer it out loud with someone as if you were actually in the interview. If you're watching alone, you can expound on your response in this time. You can write more. But if you are with someone else whom you can talk to, then have the interview. Let one person play the interviewer and the other the interviewee and answer the question as completely as you can. When it's your turn to be the reporter, ask your interviewee one follow-up question based on their answer, like it's an actual interview. For example, if the interviewee says they believe a healthy relationship has two people with the same belief system, ask them as a follow-up to explain more of what that actually means to have the same beliefs, or give a real-world example. Interview that other person now, then switch roles. If you're watching solo, try to add to your response. Pause the video here while you have your interview or write. What kinds of examples did you come up with? What aspects of a healthy relationship are important to you? Have you ever sat down and thought about that? One great way to think about healthy relationships more critically is to look around you. Do you have siblings, cousins, family members, or friends who are dating somebody? What do you think about their relationship if you're familiar with it? What do you think about the dating couple's interactions, the way they communicate, the way they argue, the way they explore hobbies, or express love when they're around other people? What about your parents or grandparents or another couple you know? For example, I can think of something I admire about one of my grandmothers, in that she always spoke really highly of my grandfather when he wasn't around. Not all couples do that, and I appreciate that she spoke positively of him and meant it. So focus in on the couple you have in mind, or a few different couples. Answer the question, what do I think is great about the couple I'm thinking of, and would even want to replicate in my own relationship in the future? Answer this question in about 7 to 10 sentences, what you like about their relationship. Pause the video here as you write. So, why are we writing this down? The reason we're writing down what we like about different relationships around us is so we can develop our own narrative, our own wants and desires for future relationships. There are lots of couples in the world. They're everywhere, especially in media. I can think right now of a famous celebrity who is constantly dating someone new. And what stands out to me about them is that they jump from person to person. And if I'm right about them, that isn't healthy. They're probably looking for something not found in dating. Or there's something going on in their relationships that's not healthy. It's okay to observe things you appreciate about the way a couple treats each other and recognize things you don't want in your own relationship as well. For example, maybe you don't like the way people raise their voices when they fight and would want your future partner to use an inside voice even when they're passionate, sad, or angry. Maybe you would prefer to have mostly shared interests with someone you're dating. Or maybe you would like to have different interests that you both try together. Maybe you think it's great when couples text each other all the time or follow each other on social media. Or maybe you think it'd be annoying to respond to text all day and prefer that your future boyfriend or girlfriend wouldn't be as active in that way. These are preferences. They're not necessarily right or wrong or immoral. Rather, they have to do with compatibility, personality, and preferential wants. There are some preferences that are right and good, and others that are more of a personal choice. Respect and love are right and good, whereas shared hobbies, not needed as much in a dating relationship, necessarily. We're all wired, so to speak, with unique personalities, which include our desires. It's okay to think about what you want in a relationship, whether you're in one, just got out of one, or want one in the future. In fact, this can help you prepare for a healthy relationship. So, a healthy relationship has components like safety, communication, honesty, trust, respect, independence, connectedness, kindness, love, support, stability, and shared values. A relationship where you can be yourself and are accepted, but still challenged to be more. Maybe you wrote some of those down earlier. What about an unhealthy relationship? Those are often obvious to those outside of the relationship, but unhealthy components are all around us in the world. Sometimes people fall so in love or fall in obsession that they don't see how unhealthy their romantic relationship has become. So take a minute and thoughtfully list 10 things you don't want in a relationship. Examples like cheating, lies, possessiveness, abuse. Afterwards, if you're able to, share with someone around you and see what you wrote down in common and what was different. Pause the video to discuss and write out your characteristics of unhealthy relationships. What did you come up with? Unhealthy relationships often include drama. Two people who are constantly up or down or angrily fighting with no solutions. An unhealthy relationship might include someone who pressures the partner to do things they don't want to do, which is never a good sign. Maybe the person manipulates or asks for physical contact that makes the partner uncomfortable. Maybe the person said they believed the same things or valued something, but really it's becoming clear they don't. That doesn't mean they're evil, but it does mean that dating could end. Maybe that person says, if you really liked me or loved me, you would do this. Things like, don't hang out with your friends so much. Pay attention to your phone every time I text you. Stop spending so much time with your family. Let's do something physical. Go to a different university or a different town just for me. Stop talking to so-and-so. Those can be hard to respond to, especially because the couple is dating, so they like each other. Sometimes it means these people need to break up, and that's difficult. If there's violence in a relationship, the other person will need serious help leaving the abuser because of the threat of violence. Ultimately, you don't have to date or marry someone who is immature in how they treat you, disrespectful, or abusive. They have their own story, their own reasons for the poor choices and the abuse in their life, or the immature handling of issues, why they are the way they are, but it doesn't mean you have to continue to date them for them to get better. They need help on their own, and you don't need to risk yourself and spend time trying to fix that person. I have known many couples who unnecessarily create drama. Maybe you have too. I have been that person in an unhealthy relationship. I have known couples who threaten each other, saying, if you leave me, I'll hurt myself. That is really scary, and it's sad. It's difficult, but it means that person needs help, and you aren't going to be the one that saves them, as hard as it is to recognize that. You don't have to keep dating them. Rather, it's best to contact helplines, phone numbers, counselors, an adult. If you have sent photos to that person before, and those photos are now being used to threaten, pressure, or manipulate you to do whatever the other person says, or else they'll post it or send it to somewhere, you need to get help in that situation. It's illegal to share nude photos of people under 18. We should never participate in that. It can hurt people. For those who have, they might need to seek out someone who can help them. Get the pictures deleted, or have a monitored conversation with that other person. Take out your notebook or journal and write 10 sentences on how you can protect yourself from an unhealthy relationship. Be realistic in terms of what you would actually do. How would you protect yourself? How would you prevent being in an unhealthy relationship? You can include how you would respond to people pressuring you. Afterwards, please share a few of your examples if you're with somebody else. Pause the video here while you write. So, how did that go? If you came up with some good answers, remember that these are ways you can help a friend in an unhealthy relationship as well as protect yourself. When we're in our teenage years, our brains are still forming, particularly the part of our brain called the prefrontal cortex, which helps you make decisions and helps you practice self-control. Our emotions are still undergoing regulation. Basically, we're figuring ourselves out. That means some people are seriously not ready to date. They might be great, but relationships can get heated, drama is unnecessary. It doesn't mean they're a terrible person or weird. It's common to have relationships as a young person that don't last. However, this means it's good to really reflect on what you want and how you or a friend could get out of an unhealthy situation too. Nobody wants to be in an unhealthy situation, but sometimes they happen. So it's good to think about it now beforehand. You can encourage your friends as well by supporting them as a loving, caring friend who wants to help them. They might need you. Almost all relationships start in good feelings, happy thoughts, exciting dates, attraction, interest, but some don't continue that way. They might become obsessive or overwhelming, like a roller coaster, up and down, abusive, suffocating. Those are not good. Those relationships need to end, and those people need help separately navigating what has just occurred. We can forgive each other, but also not keep dating when we don't need to be with that person. Understanding healthy relationships and having a voice when you are not treated well is good. Sometimes it's our family or friends who treat us in an unhealthy way. If we can kindly communicate with them about their actions and forgive them when they ask, that's a great skill to have as we move forward in life. But sometimes we might also need to seek help from someone else. What do you want in a relationship? How can you encourage your other friendships and relationships to be healthy? What can you do today to grow emotionally, spiritually, or mentally as you move forward in life? You're still growing and figuring out who you are, what you want, what you see for your future. You have an important relationship not only with others, but with yourself and with the one who created you. Healthy relationships are ones that speak respectfully to each other, treat each other with kindness, challenge each other to grow in truth and love, and support one another through difficulties. Adolescence is figuring out how to do that. So look around you. Observe things you like and don't like about other relationships you see. Grow spiritually in your faith. Practice healthy habits to understand your thoughts and your emotions more. And be patient with yourself. Relationships matter. They also come and go. It's good to set boundaries. It's good to move away from someone you're dating who's pressuring or manipulating you. And it's good to communicate about your desires for a healthy relationship. Thanks for watching.